This one is all tied as they tied up this series with the Reds with the win this afternoon. We welcome you here to Phillies Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance, Amy Fiddle and Ben Davis. And you mentioned it, they needed to get something going against Lodolo, who had been quite good against the Phillies in his career, and they were able to get to him just a little bit, but more importantly to the bullpen for the Reds.
Yeah, he was very good. 17 swings and misses for Nick Lodolo this afternoon at CBP, but the Phillies were able to just get enough of him and get him out of the ball game to get to that bullpen for the Reds. And just a great team win all the way around the bullpen. I applaud your efforts today. You were outstanding. Ranger was great. I'm very anxious to hear what Topper has to say, why he came out after 80 pitches in 5 innings, but it worked out. It's obviously they had a game plan, and they went in and they operated and they executed it perfectly.
Well, the offense did erupt a bit later in this game. It was 1-1 in the 6th because Edmundo Sosa had gotten a solo home run, but you have this guy up, and you always know he's going to do something special. Maybe not necessarily here. He's not going to get a lot to hit. He did later in this one. But this is good because they had been really poor, 3 for 13 yesterday with runners in scoring position, 11 left on base, and then Alec Bohm coming through here with a big one.
Yeah, just not. You heard him say after the game he didn't get a whole lot to hit, but he finally gets a pitch to his liking. And I mean, you talk about a center cut fastball, and he was just kept throwing those changeups down and away, down and away, down and away, and he got a fastball right down Broadway. And big league hitters, good ones, Amy, they don't miss those pitches, and Alec Bohm did not miss this pitch. That ball was stepped on, and he knew it right away, and obviously biggest swing of the day for the Fighting Phils. Outstanding. Big
swing there, full extension, going to one of the deep, there's Montgomery. It's a little David Montgomery corner right there. So it was good to see, and then Monty's angle, as they call it. But this was great to see, and then obviously Kyle Schwarber added a little insurance later. But this has been something Alec Bohm had been swinging. You actually had a stat before we come on about how many RBI he had, and I think people might think that number is going to be a little bit lower than it's 41, because he had a really slow start to the season, but it's nice to see him kind of adding to that right now.
Yeah, 8 home runs. We know he's not going to hit a lot of ton of home runs, but you know, the RBIs is what he's been doing the last couple seasons, and to have 41 after the start that he had really says something about his stick-to-itiveness and the fact that he's, you know what, they can't hold me down for long, but 41 stakes at this part of the season after the start that he had, I tip my cap to him and him sticking with it. And, you know, he's only going to add that protection for Bryce Harper in the middle of that lineup, and you love to see that. But, you know, he's not going to hit a ton of home runs. We know that. But give me that RBI guy and the guy that hits for average, and the average also up to 283 for Alec. Again, it's a long way from where he started.
Tip of my cap to you, because on your RAV4 Things to Know and on the pregame show, you said, why in the world would anybody keep trotting out lefties to face Kyle Schwarber? The Reds did just that, and Kyle Schwarber did exactly what he does. His 27th home run, a 2-run blast. Fun fact, Schwarber has 13 home runs against left-handed pitching so far this year. He's 27. 12 home runs against left-handed pitchers all of last season.
Did you really think you were going to throw that 2-0 fastball by him there in Suter? I don't get it. I mean, he came into the game hitting 288 against lefties with 12, and now he just added to that. What a short, powerful swing by the Schwarberian, and 27 on the year, and you mentioned 13 against lefties. This guy just gets it done, and it just seems like, in my opinion, Amy, it's a poor life decision to bring a lefty in to face this guy.
I know what he's going to do if you do that. You can see all these guys, Cal Raleigh, wow. I mean, we know what season he's having. Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, but these are the home run leaders. Kyle Schwarber right there. You're hoping he's going to hear his name on Sunday as an all-star reserve and maybe even for the home run derby.
I don't know why he would not be in it, you know, in the all-star game. I think he's earned it, and I think it's well-deserved. And to be on that list, and seemingly everyone else on that list is going to be going to the all-star game, but I think Schwarber should definitely be there.
Well, speaking of all-stars, maybe Ranger Suarez is going to hear his name, even though this was only his 12th start, so it's a limited amount. He is the subject of our Eye on the Mound, brought to you by PGW, Energy for All, and he had a streak of 10 straight quality starts. He had a streak of 5 games where he had gone 7 innings or more and had 2 or less earned runs. Those both snapped today with just 80 pitches. He was done after 5.
He must have watched the pregame program, Amy, because I said keep throwing that changeup until they make the adjustments. And the Reds just didn't make those adjustments, especially on that changeup today. He threw that pitch 30% of the time. Usually he's at the two-seamers at the highest percentage point, but the changeup was really good, and then followed by the cutter at 23%. Then the two-seamer, only 18% today out of his 80 pitches did he throw, and they see the ERA down to 1.99. 1.9. 80 pitches, 51 of which were strikes, and 12 swings and misses for the Ranger today.
2 walks, 5 hits, only 1 earned. Of course, that was the solo home run. I know we're going to hear from Rob Thompson coming up on why he was lifted after just 80 pitches. And there, you just mentioned it. This is his last 11 starts. The first start back in May when he came off of the injured list, obviously that wasn't a great start. It was almost like a spring training type of vibe. But his ERA in his last 11 starts, 1.23.
And that actually went up from 1.19 in the last 10 starts. So it really jumped up there, but he's just been outstanding. And you never know. He might get the nod for the Midsummer Classic, the way he's thrown the baseball.
Well, we saw Jordan Romano come in the 6th inning when you knew that Rangers' job was done, and all of us upstairs when we're watching the game were like, this is going to be a heavy use of the bullpen, but they delivered in a big way. Not a single earned run given up. You can see just a couple of hits really scattered throughout. This is exactly what you want to see. These are your workhorses. These are the guys that you depend on in a situation like this, especially the back half of that bullpen, and they came through.
And look at the column all the way to the right, Jules.
Yep.
Walks. 0.
That's great.
0. The last thing you want to do as a reliever is to get the nod from your skipper and go in there and walk somebody. And that you just can't do that, especially at this ballpark in the summertime where the ball's flying out. And this is a very good offensive ball club in the Cincinnati Reds. But you just can't put guys on via the free pass. And that's exactly what they did not do today. So another tip of the cap to the bullpen.
Yes, a couple of tips of the cap going away. We're going to go ahead and check in now with Rob Thompson, who was asked why Ranger Suarez was pulled after just 80 pitches.
Rob, I guess the first question is, Ranger, after 80 pitches, was that health, caution?
It was designed. Yeah. So in June, he had 6 starts, 5 of them 7 innings, 1 of them 6 innings, all of them 94 pitches or more. So we went into today just trying to pull back a little bit. So he had an 85 pitch limit today.
Did you know that?
Yes.
About his stuff. I mean, the velo was way down the last start, down a little bit today, kind of bounced back. So how do you feel about this stuff?
Yeah, I'm just looking up at the board. I saw 93. So that was a good sign. But yeah, and I don't really concern myself with that because he pitches. And that's what he did today. And, he threw strikes, first pitch strikes. Changeup was really good. A lot of soft contact other than, the Benson home run. He just missed location. First pitch, and he just was all over it. But I thought Ranger was really good today, and I thought the bullpen was outstanding as well.
Remember that conversation because last year he was on a similar run and kind of broke down a little bit in the second half. Is that
yeah, and now he gets an extra day's rest, so we'll see how he comes out of this and see how he feels, and if we have to do it again, we'll do it again.
Feel like a Ranger deserves an all-star nod, or would you actually like to see him maybe rest during the break?
Well, I'd want all our guys being all-stars. I really would, because I think it's a badge of honor, and I hope he gets it.
Rob, could that be something you do with more starting pitchers moving forward until the all-star breaks? Maybe do a pitch limit with some of them?
Yeah, you'll know when you see it.
Everybody makes errors. I guess the key is to make the next play.
Absolutely, and that's what he did. He came right back. I know he was upset about making that error and made a heck of a play on the next hitter. So that's good to see.
Sosa's continued to hit lefties really well. His homer today. How key is that on a team that's pretty left-handed?
Yeah, he's been great, and Kemp's been great. Those guys that we use against left-handed pitching have given us really good at bats. So we've got good balance right now.
What have you thought about Kemp in left field now that he's had?
He's been good. I mean, he really hasn't made any mistakes. He looks comfortable out there. Hasn't been really challenged, but that's okay. But he looks comfortable.
Harper, do you think it's just coming back, getting used to things?
Yeah.
Just a bad day?
Yeah, and tough pitcher. I mean, Lodolo's. He had pretty good stuff today. But yeah, it takes a while to get your timing, and he'll get there.
Back to Sosa, do you think he's making an argument for more playing time?
Well, he'll play against left-hand pitching.
All right, so obviously the very first question, the first couple of questions were about Ranger Suarez, and Rob Thompson said, that was by design. He had an 85 pitch limit. He was asked a follow-up, which was something you had kind of mentioned too, like, was it usage because of what happened last year with him? And then he said, kind of. He was used a lot in June. They were a little bit wary of that, and they want to make sure they give him a little extra rest this time of year.
Yeah, I guess it's understandable. He said he had 6 starts in June, and of which he averaged 94 pitches in those starts and going really deep into ball games. So they said it was by design, the 85 pitch limit. Obviously, he's just through the 80, and it worked out for him. I think if it would have ended up where the bullpen kind of gave it away, I think it would have been second guessed. But it worked out for Rob Thompson today and the pitching staff. And again, the bullpen stepped up and did their job. But I guess I don't have a problem with it. I would have liked to see him go one more, to be perfectly honest with you, with just the 80 pitches. And I think that pocket of hitters where he was coming into would have been in that 6th inning. He would have just got done just fine. But, hey, they stuck to their guns.
Well, Ranger, pretty good. 6 strikeouts, but the bullpen outstanding as they gave up no earned run. Phillies get the big win over the Reds 5-1. We're going to hear from Ranger Suarez coming up here. Stick with us. Phillies Postgame Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance.
Phillies Postgame Live is presented by Cure Auto Insurance. See how much you can save at Cure.com.